Moonshiners discuss deviating from the law through the medium of a television show introduction. In the world of television, many shows have captured the audience's attention through gripping storylines, complex characters, and dramatic portrayals of the human experience. However, few television shows have managed to strike such a unique balance between real-world rebellion and entertainment as the reality show Moonshiners. The show, which focuses on individuals who distill illegal alcohol in the Appalachian Mountains, not only documents the process of moonshining, but also explores the ethical and personal dilemmas of deviating from the law. Through Moonshiners, viewers get a front-row seat to the challenges and tensions that arise when individuals decide to step outside of legal boundaries, with the law often presented as an oppressive force standing in the way of personal freedom, tradition, and livelihood. Through the lens of television, Moonshiners allows its stars to openly discuss and dissect their decision to defy the law, offering a unique opportunity to explore themes of rebellion, tradition, and personal freedom. The Moonshiners' discussions about deviating from the law are not just about the illegal act of distilling spirits. They offer deeper insights into the intersection of personal values, survival instincts, and societal norms. The medium of television gives these discussions a layer of complexity, as viewers are not only entertained, but also given the chance to reflect on the morality of breaking the law, particularly in the context of centuries-old traditions that continue to thrive in rural areas of the United States. This essay will delve into the Moonshiners' discussions and behaviors as portrayed in Moonshiners, focusing on their reasons for deviating from the law and the way in which the television show explores these themes. Through a combination of interviews, behind-the-scenes footage, and character-driven narratives, the series paints a portrait of individuals caught between the allure of easy profits and the moral dilemmas of lawbreaking. In doing so, the show presents the case for considering the greater societal implications of the laws that govern them, while simultaneously showcasing the deep personal and cultural justifications for their actions. The Law and the Moonshiner. A tangled history, the relationship between Moonshiners and the law is both fraught and fascinating. Historically, moonshining is deeply rooted in American tradition, especially in rural and isolated areas like the Appalachian region. Prohibition in the early 20th century saw a rise in illegal alcohol production as a form of resistance against a government mandate, and this legacy continues in Moonshiners. The show explores not just the process of illegal distilling, but the underlying reasons why these individuals choose to continue this tradition, despite the risks and the legal ramifications. From the outset, Moonshiners introduces the audience to a number of characters who operate outside the law for a variety of reasons. For some, it is a matter of financial survival. In many cases, the local economy is driven by industries that have struggled to keep up with the times, and moonshining offers an alternative means of generating income. Characters like Tim Smith, one of the more prominent figures in the show, have openly stated that they moonshine because it offers a way to sustain their families and maintain a way of life that might otherwise be lost. For others, it is a matter of cultural preservation. Moonshining is not just a means to an end. It is part of a long-standing tradition that is inextricably linked to the identity of rural America. In Moonshiners, the law is often depicted as an external force that seeks to impose itself on this deeply ingrained cultural practice. The show's producers use a mix of dramatic reenactments and candid interviews to highlight how these moonshiners are not necessarily criminals in the traditional sense, but rather individuals who are continuing a practice that has been passed down through generations. The law, as portrayed on the show, is not so much a moral guide but an obstacle, an entity that imposes limits on the autonomy of these individuals and their communities. This framing leads to an important question that the show brings to the forefront. Is the law always just, Or does it sometimes stand in the way of tradition, freedom, and survival, deviating from the law? Justification and rationalization in the context of Moonshiners, the decision to break the law is rarely presented as a black and white issue. Instead, the show delves into the personal motivations behind the Moonshiners' actions, offering viewers a nuanced view of why individuals might choose to deviate from the law. Often, these motivations are complex and multifaceted, influenced by a combination of historical, cultural, and economic factors. One of the central arguments is the idea of necessity. For many, moonshining is not a choice. It is a way of life. In rural Appalachian communities, where economic opportunities may be limited, moonshining can be a means of financial survival. Tim Smith, for example, often discusses how difficult it is to make a living in the mountains. Without the ability to grow crops or engage in other forms of business, the distillation of spirits becomes a vital economic lifeline. Moonshining is framed not just as a means of personal enrichment, but as an act of preservation, preserving a way of life and providing for families in an area where other options may be scarce. But while necessity plays a key role in the Moonshiners' decisions, there are also more personal, ideological reasons behind their actions. For some, breaking the law is seen as a form of rebellion against a government or system that they feel does not represent their interests. This sentiment is particularly strong among those who see moonshining as part of a broader cultural rebellion. Moonshiners often argue that the laws restricting their practices were created by outside forces, specifically federal or state governments, that do not understand or respect the cultural significance of the tradition. The notion of personal freedom and resistance to authority is a recurring theme in Moonshiners, with some characters openly challenging the legitimacy of the laws that govern their actions. For these individuals, the illegal distillation of spirits is a way of asserting autonomy in the face of a system that they believe is overreaching. The Moonshiners' rationalizations are made even more compelling by the way the television show presents their actions. Through intimate interviews and behind-the-scenes footage, viewers are able to hear directly from the Moonshiners about why they do what they do. This level of access humanizes the Moonshiners, making it difficult for viewers to simply dismiss them as criminals. Instead, the show invites viewers to consider the broader context in which these individuals operate, making it clear that their actions are not motivated purely by greed, but also by a complex set of circumstances. The role of television in framing lawbreaking. The television show Moonshiners is not just a documentary series. It is a narrative construction that shapes the way viewers understand the relationship between the Moonshiners and the law. The show is a powerful example of how media can influence public perception of lawbreaking and shape the moral and ethical frameworks through which viewers interpret the actions of the characters. Through its storytelling techniques, Moonshiners presents lawbreaking as something that is, at times, morally justified. The show uses a variety of cinematic tools, close-ups, music, pacing, and editing, to highlight moments of tension and moral ambiguity, ensuring that the audience feels the weight of the characters' decisions. When the Moonshiners are caught in illegal activities, they are often portrayed not as villains, but as individuals caught in a difficult situation. This empathetic portrayal encourages viewers to question the fairness of the law and consider the broader circumstances that lead people to break it. Furthermore, the show's episodic structure allows for the gradual development of the characters, helping viewers to become emotionally invested in their stories. As the seasons unfold, viewers witness the Moonshiners' personal growth, struggles, and triumphs, which serve to further humanize them. The show goes beyond showcasing the illegal distilling of alcohol. It delves into the Moonshiners' relationships with their families, their communities, and each other, ultimately making the audience more inclined to sympathize with their actions. This emotional engagement is key to the show's ability to explore the moral questions surrounding lawbreaking. Through the lens of television, Moonshiners challenges the conventional view that lawbreakers are inherently bad people, instead offering a more nuanced perspective that highlights the complexities of individual motivations and the broader social context. The consequences of deviating from the law. While Moonshiners often portrays moonshining as a morally justified act, it also does not shy away from depicting the potential consequences of breaking the law. Over the course of the series, viewers witness several moonshiners facing legal trouble, including arrests, fines, and the confiscation of equipment. These moments serve as reminders that the stakes of moonshining are high, and that the characters' decisions to break the law come with real-world consequences. The tension between the rewards and risks of moonshining is one of the central themes of the show. On one hand, the Moonshiners stand to make a significant amount of money by selling their product. On the other hand, the threat of legal repercussions looms large over their operations. This constant balancing act creates a